right, we're back here on One Bills Live. Maddy Glab alongside of Steve Tasker. Mock Draft Watch has officially begun. 1.0 is out on BuffaloBills.com. You can see who the national analysts believe is the best fit for the Bills at number 26, tracking that first-round pick that the Bills have in April. And wide receiver seems to be an early favorite. Let's see. I tracked 14 in this first round of mock drafts. We've got 6 wide receivers, not 6 different wide receivers, but wide receivers mocked to the Bills 6 different times, 4 linebackers, 3 edge rushers, and 1 safety is how it's looking for the first time around. And there's already some favorite names. You spoke about C.J. Allen early on in the show, and C.J. Allen was the lone linebacker to pop up. So he is the favorite already being mocked to the Bills 4 different times. And I've got to say, when you start collecting these names and seeing who people think is the best fit at number 26, regardless of the years that I've done this, it seems like the first month that we're doing this for, January into the beginning of February, some of these names you see now and you're never going to see again after the scouting combine happens, because these guys test off the charts and they move up 5 to 10 spots. So some of these names that we're talking about right now might bump up to a top 15 pick in just a couple of weeks. That's just how it goes.
And also in this mock, that if you do take a wide receiver, if you're Buffalo, and they've got him taking a guy like Chris Brazzell II out of Tennessee as a wide receiver, it would be the 10th time since 2000 that 6 wide receivers were taken in the first round. So it's that conversation I've been having a lot. There's a ton of really good wide receivers, but there's always this line of demarcation where everybody past the number 3 wide receiver or the 4th wide receiver in this group are just, they're just okay. Keon fell below that line. So did Xavier Worthy. They both fell behind that line. So it's just one of those things where when you're picking down in the bottom 6 picks of the draft, the guys you get are going to be, particularly at a position, are going to be guys that somebody else passed over. But that's, to me, that just bolsters the conversation of maybe not taking a wide out in the first round, because the good ones, the difference makers right away, are going to be gone. But that doesn't mean it won't happen.
It seems like it's going to be a good wide receiver draft class from what analysts are already saying. Linebacker is another position group to watch. People say this year's draft class is exceptionally deep at linebacker, to the point that we're going to see some linebackers go in the first round, which doesn't always happen just because the linebacker position isn't crazily sought after. It's not the position group that's making that top tier money, so it's hard to think, do we spend a first round pick on a linebacker when linebackers aren't paid like wide receivers or left tackles or cornerbacks?
Right.
But Buffalo has already been mocked a linebacker 4 different times. There's a couple names I wanted to talk about today. We'll start with wide receivers, since that's the exciting position. That's what everybody wants to talk about. And one of the mock drafts had Buffalo trading all the way up to 20 to get this wide receiver. A couple also had Buffalo sticking and picking at number 26, and this wide receiver would be available for them. His name is Denzel Washington. He comes out of Washington. 6'4", 210 pounds is what he looks like on the field. Had 11 touchdowns last season. Sorry, Denzel Boston out of Washington. I've been saying that in my brain the last few days as I've been collecting mock drafts.
Denzel Boston out of Washington.
I think a lot of people are going to do that. Denzel Boston out of Washington. Say that 5 times and try not to say Denzel Washington.
It's not Denzel Washington out of Boston. It's Denzel Boston out of Washington.
It also kind of rhymes.
Dude, 6'4", 212, and he's got hands. I mean, the guy catches. So that's this just in for a wide receiver. That's a good trait. Out of these first round of mock drafts, he is the guy that is mocked to Bills a lot.
His name has popped up 3 different times heading to Buffalo in the first round, one at 20, the other 2 at 26. And checking out Boston's tape, what I noticed is his size that jumps off the page right away. 6'4", 210. You've got good size. You've got good length. Boston is an easy mismatch, which makes him a solid red zone target. What you're going to see is Boston being targeted a lot in the red zone. He's got 20 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. I think has some really nice vision, a good catch radius due to his size, tough at the catch point because he has that bigger body at 210 pounds. What it boils down to is he's a solid X wide receiver who can produce. He knows how to use his size to his advantage, or at 6'4", 210. It makes him a home run in the red zone. He has tough hands and a big catch radius. He's got toughness off the line of scrimmage, but isn't going to beat everyone. Speed is not something that you watch his tape and think, wow, this is one of the fastest guys available in this draft class. He's tough.
That's what happens when you get down to the bottom of the first round. You're going to have to compromise somewhere. Either the guy's going to be really, really fast, but he's going to be really, really small, or he's going to be really, really big and not really, really fast. They still should all be able to catch, however. And like we saw with Keon, his positives were his ability to win contested catches, and his physicality as a big wide receiver. It wasn't speed, it wasn't separation, it was contested catch and size. So when you get to this point of the draft, if you are going to pick 26, you got to ask, where's the compromise for this player? And if Denzel Boston goes to the combine and snaps off a 4.4 40, he'll be long gone by the time he gets to Buffalo at 26.
Yeah. Not sure if he'll pop off a 4.4 40 because he's not known for his speed, but if you're looking for speed in the draft in the first round, can I entertain you in a different wide receiver, not Denzel Boston from Washington? I'm going to be saying that, the next 10 minutes in my brain to get this right instead of Denzel Washington, the famous actor that we all know and love. The speedy wide receiver, one of them available in the first round, comes out of Tennessee. His name is Chris Brazzell. A little bit bigger in terms of height than Denzel Boston. Sitting tall at 6'5", 200 pounds. I should say standing tall because he certainly stands tall at 6'5". Had an 1,000-yard season last year for Tennessee, 9 touchdowns. He led the SEC in receiving yards and averaged 16.4 yards per catch. He is a big play receiver, stands above most defenders. That is a huge mismatch right away. He's got a big catch radius with that 6'5" length. When you watch his tape, Brazzell is very fluid. He's got incredible body control, can contort his body in any way to make a catch. He runs like a gazelle. He gets in and out of his breaks really smoothly. You'll see those highlight reel worthy catches pop up, and he's really good at coming down with the jump balls. He's a boundary wide receiver who offers that great size against defenders. Catch radius and body control, that's what sets him apart from others. His speed and footwork have created some highlight-worthy plays. That speed is something that maybe Buffalo will want to go after if they're looking for a wide receiver and looking for something different that doesn't exist on the roster currently. His dad played in the NFL, and his brother also plays at Tennessee as a defensive back.
Yeah, the guy who mocked Chris Brazzell to the Bills is Mel Kiper Jr., the guru guy who's made a living doing this. His take is also that if Brazzell ends up with the Bills, it will be after a handful of other guys are picked, because he sees there's a bunch of better prospects than Brazzell. And this is the guy that said if they do get this guy, there's going to be 6 wide receivers taken in the first round for the 10th time since 2000. So he's part of a group that is making its way. He's got some physical to it. If you're 6'5", playing wide receiver, you're a tough matchup.
Yeah.
It's a tough matchup. The height alone is intimidating for most
Boom.
DBs to go out there and line up. So I think most teams will hesitate to man up on a guy like that. Who is that tall, and that gives you an edge right out of the gate. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, his fluid motion and his catch radius, all of that makes him a really good prospect.
And then let's talk about a linebacker, the favorite name so far being mocked to the Bills 4 different times. Linebacker C.J. Allen out of Georgia, 6'1", 235 pounds. He led his team last year with 88 total tackles, was listed as an All-American first-team honors by AP, also a finalist for the Butkus Award from his 2025 season. When you look at what Allen offers, Allen is a hard hitter, physical player who does a good job at reading and reacting. He's an instinctive player who's got a high motor, talented tackler also due to his technique. But what I took out from watching him the most was Allen looks like a very comfortable player. There's not a lot that's going to catch him flat-footed or off guard. He seems like a really good leader who knows how to get his defense set from playing that Mike linebacker position, can wear the green dot for a team, and make sure the entire defense feels good when the ball is snapped. I think he's a great leader and has been written about as a great leader on Georgia. I think he also is a great leader because he's got really good IQ.
Yeah, they call C.J. Allen is a guy who's a green dot player, which means he's the guy that calls the defensive signals. He's an alpha. His leadership and his ability to raise the level of the guys around him has been noted. He's one of those guys. He's in the middle of your defense, and when he's not there, the other guys feel it. He's a little bit undersized for an ideal linebacker. He's only 6'1", but he weighs 235. But his instincts, nose for the ball, speed, all that stuff is off the charts and more than makes up for that. So he is a guy that because of his size, he may last to number 26 for the Bills.
Yeah.
And if he does, you're going to get another alpha guy right in the middle of your defense who's going to step in and everybody's going to know his name really quick.
And that'll be interesting. Are the Bills targeting a middle linebacker? Do they want to see some shifting at who's playing where within the linebacker spots open on the field as the Bills move from a 4-3 to a 3-4? You're going to need more outside linebackers. You're going to need guys who can be flexible in that position group with where they are on the line of scrimmage or right behind your defensive lineman.